Question about when you say you expanded the jaws a lot, you guys didn't use a device for that, or was it just through or habits?
No, we use devices.
You use devices to expand the jaw. Okay.
Yeah, he used the bow. He used the Stage 1 Mew appliance, which is fantastic. There's a plug for the best orthodontic device there is.
What's it called again?
It's part of the orthotropic armamentarium or tools, and it's the Stage 1, which is an expander. And the bottom one has been redesigned by Dr. Wong, and it's a great appliance that gets so much room, and you can use it in 4-year-olds, as early as you want. As I know Dr. Santos in Argentina, she uses it on 2-year-olds, so she gets the expansion early. We're now working with a group of neonatologists, and we have a series of pacifiers to get the expansion and the proper breathing and the proper tongue posture from the day the kids are born, with a series of different pacifiers that they can transition into. So you can do expansion with a lot of devices, and the key is to make the house bigger so the furniture can fit. And if the house is big enough, then you can train yourself to get the furniture right. So the tongue, if you have enough room, you can train the tongue to hold that room and maintain what we're calling this fostering of health. So, but you do need the architecture to be bigger. In the case of my children, we had to expand them because I didn't know what I know now. And, if you start with the little kids and they have good habits, they may not need anything. We all know people that didn't need any braces and they breathe fine and have beautiful jaws and they've never had any work, but they probably had a good environment. So the earlier you work with the environment and get it right, the less devices you have to use. But if you're at the point where you need to use devices, then if you're very young, you can use devices that are very easy. As you get older, you might need more complicated devices. If you're an adult, you might need surgery.
Yeah. And
surgery can be done very well and minimally invasive with less side effects if the right surgeon and the right team helps. Also, if you have snoring, sleep apnea, if you have a team, like we have a team, we just did a snoring workshop in Mexico. We had the ENT, the sleep physician, the lab technician, and the orthodontist all in one room for 5 days with the same patient. So we were able to cure everybody from their sleep apnea because we had the 4 treating doctors involved, and we had the technician, and we had a scope that went down the nose, so we saw exactly where the problem was. So we were able to cure everyone, but only because we worked together as a team. So the solutions are there, but they're complicated. The earlier you change the environment, the less you're going to have to mitigate with more invasive techniques.
Power Project family, how's it going? Now, we talk about sleep all the time on the podcast because it's one of the biggest things that helps you with your health and fitness, your recovery, your muscle gain, your fat loss, everything. That's why we've partnered with 8 Sleep for such a long time now, because the technology behind the mattress allows you to track your heart rate, the amount of times it takes you to fall asleep, your tosses and turns, your heart rate variability. It changes its temperature through the night based off how you sleep, but not only yourself, but maybe your partner on the other side of the bed. It is an amazing mattress. Andrew, how can they learn more?
Yes, head over to 8sleep.com/power project. That's 8 spelled out, EIGHT, sleep.com/power project. Along with more information, you guys will actually save $150 off of your entire order automatically. Links to them down in the description as well as the podcast show notes.
You have this, the lip lock. I've seen you were showing us some people like training with it, which is really fascinating. But what is it? What would it do for sleep? Like somebody that is having a hard time keeping their tongue on the roof of their mouth. I tried the product and I was messing with it, and you can kind of suction, I guess, however hard you think, however hard you want. But you mentioned kind of keeping it just lightly on the roof of the mouth. What do you like? What have people reported with that product? Have people really noticed big differences in sleep, and have you been able to actually test it with things that are tracking your sleep and things like that?
Well, yes, and it's exciting because we have the first study out of Spain. It's going to publication where they actually used a lip locker with children that had tonsil and adenoidectomy. And they had a group that just had the surgery and they went home, and they had a group that had the surgery and they were given the lip locker. And actually the ones that were given the lip blocker started nose breathing and did a lot better than the other ones. So that was very excited. This is a study was done in children. And, like everything, there's a learning curve. And you have to be, with someone that can guide you on how to use it. And certainly you can get it and use it at home and figure it out. But you do have to, like I said, have the right architecture, the right width to be able to hold the negative suction. Most of us can do it if we can swallow. If anybody listening can swallow, they can generate negative suction. Some people can't swallow. We're working with older people that lose the swallowing reflex, and some of our cleft kids at Stanford, they can't swallow. They have to, use a feeding tube. But anybody that can swallow can generate negative pressure, because we don't swallow by pushing. We swallow by creating negative pressure, and then the seal breaks, and then by suction, the saliva accelerates into the esophagus, which is quite far. So we have to create that negative suction. So anybody can swallow can do it. The key is, can you hold that suction lightly? Most of us can't. You can train yourself, like learning curve, like a bicycle. You do it first with the little extra wheels, and then you take them off as you get good at it. If we don't have room, we might never be able to do it. But the lip locker is it helps you hold that pressure, recognize it, and hold it for longer periods. I do have people, I don't even call them patients because they're not even my patients, but people that use it, and in one night, they start sleeping well and they feel their nose is cleared up, because if you have negative pressure inside your mouth, that translates into, because of the gradient of pressures, into the nose naturally pulling air. So the nose becomes more efficient if you have negative pressure inside your mouth. So I've had people report, we have tons of testimonials of people that put it on and all of a sudden they sleep better and their nose feels, more clear. And that's been exciting. But we do have to do the research, and we do have to, see the variables and compare things scientifically so we can make more statements about this. But the first study was very, very exciting, because the kids after surgery that were mouth breathers became nose breathers, and these were only kids. So when you work with kids, it's fantastic because you have the clay to form the individual, and you can fix the problems so easily. Adults, it'll take a little bit longer, but we're definitely going to look into doing research on how to help people that are struggling.
I think this is really cool because, we were talking about this off air, and Andrew actually mentioned something interesting. Sometimes when people tape their mouth shut at night, their tongue is still resting at the bottom of their mouth. So even though they might be breathing through their nose, they're not doing what you're talking about just because their mouth is shut. So this is it's another habit that you need to try to ingrain during your day. And this can actually help with that, so that whether you're sleeping with mouth tape or not, if you can create that suction, you can then start breathing through your nose. But it's an action that you need to continue to take so you can build that intrinsic habit. Hey, baby. I'm joking. Guys, like, comment, subscribe, and head to the Power Project Discord, all right? I know you enjoyed the video. Speak to y'all soon.